Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Koala. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a shamanic practitioner mainly within the Nordic shamanism, but I'm also initiated into Nustakarpa and the Munaki rites, which are within the Kero medicine. So today and this week's topic is spiritual hygiene. It's something that is quite close, dear to my heart, I was gonna say, because it's something that I often feel like people are missing. Like when people feel a bit sluggish, maybe they feel like they are wearing the world on their shoulders, etc. My first thought is, when did you practice spiritual hygiene the last? And within that concept is cleansing your energy field and your home. Mostly when I think about spiritual hygiene, I think about this, your own body, mind, spirit, your own energy body. So that is what I will be talking about today. So the first thing that comes to mind when I'm planning this video is my spiritual cleansing for morning and evening. So every morning when I not when I wake up, because I don't often do it in bed. I can do this in bed if I need to um, if I need to go back to sleep and I have a hard time because maybe maybe my partner is having some bad dreams or something like that. And he's like kicking and screaming. No, he's never kicking and screaming, but he's tossing and turning. Those are the words I was looking for. Then, and I have a hard time going back to bed. Maybe I feel a bit winded up or something. Maybe I had a bad dream or something. Then I might do this, but mainly I do it when I go up in the morning. I of course use the bathroom first, and then I do my morning yoga, and I end my morning yoga session with we can call it spiritual cleansing or energy cleansing. And this is something I've shared a lot of times on social media. I think I even shared it on YouTube a few times, and in the future I will be sharing my morning ritual with you, and like for a week. So right now I'm doing some. So right now we're in the middle of some other. Well, no, next month from the next new moon, I will be doing ceremonies for the moon, so moon ceremonies in English. And after that, so after the next new moon, so from the new moon in December, is that right? I think so. Then I will be, for a week, I will be sharing my morning ritual, which includes this spiritual cleansing. But I've also shared it a lot in my meditations that I've shared in the past and that sort of thing. So it's basically me. Sometimes I open my Viracocha. When I do it in the morning, I open my Viracocha. When I do it in the evening, I don't. So once a day, I open my Viracocha, which is in the Kiro medicine, the Viracocha is your 8th chakra and is located above your head. It's a golden chakra that you can expand and step into, and it contains and envelopes it holds your entire life's archive and everything that's happened before and that will come, and it's your soul's archive. So it's not your body's, it's not you as a person now, it's your soul's archive. So once a day I open that and I clear that of heavy energy, and because I always want to heal from the inside out, and I always want to go forward in my healing. So I regularly cleanse that space. So that's what I do in the mornings. And so the practice is basically the same morning and evening. It's just that in the morning I also open my Viracocha and do it within that space. In the evening, when I lie in bed, I just lie and I focus more on my bubble that is holding me, so my protective bubble, you can say, and my aura. And the practice also helps me to fall asleep, because I focus a lot on my heart and my breathing when I do this. So the cleansing I do in the morning and in the evening is basically filling my bubble or my Viracocha with the purple light that is the healing light of the cosmos, that absorbs everything that I don't want or I no longer need in terms of like heavy energy, or maybe also heavy energy or energy that has been that is from like blockages. So if I have worked with some blockages within myself and they have been cleared, the energy that needs to be that has been dissolved and needs to be taken care of and be replaced by healing light and the healing practices, that is cleared away so that I can take in new energy and new healing. So my first step is this healing purple light, and then so I fill everything with that, and I really focus on different areas of my energy body, my physical body, my mind, to really absorb everything that I feel needs to be absorbed, and then I give that to the Earth Mother. So I feel that like you always need to know where the heavy energy that you are clearing is going. So for me, that is the Earth Mother, because the Earth Mother can always take care of everything, and she can alchemize it. She can alchemize it into new energy, and she's the one. She's perfect. It's not the only way to get rid of and take care of heavy energy and dissolve blockages, but it's a really good way to do it. So I focus on giving it to the Earth Mother. So the next step is when I'm all cleared, I need new energy into my body. So I can't just clear and never take in new energy, because things can easily come back into a void, you know. So if I don't know what I want to replace it with, then the old thing might just come struggling back in no time. And that goes for like thoughts and habits and like patterns of different kinds, like thought patterns, behavior patterns, energy patterns. Every kind of pattern can, if you need to know what you're replacing it with, so that the old one doesn't come running right back. And that is kind of the thing I see most happen to people that focus on just clearing their energy a lot, is that they don't really know what to replace it with. And when they clear, like when they burn bad habits, or they want to get rid of bad habits, or maybe they want to get rid of they want to lose weight, or they want to get rid of clutter in their home, and anything that they want to clear, it's a common thing. I don't want to say mistake, but it's a common thing that people don't really know what to put there instead. So what is causing when you remove something, when you remove, for example, something in your home, and you think, this is a great feeling, but what is it inside of you that makes you fill the space up again? What is missing? So you need to come to that conclusion, and then fill that thing with something else, or just find out why you're feeling it so that you don't have to anymore, that sort of thing. But I'm gonna come back to that later. So when I have cleansed my entire body of this heavy energy and with this purple light, I reach my roots deep into the earth. My roots are always connected to the earth mother. But when I share this as a meditation practice, I usually ask people to put down their roots, because not everyone is as connected to the earth as I am, or maybe as you are. So when I have my roots deep into the earth, I feel for the earth mother's chakra, the beating chakra of the earth. It's sometimes called the earth chakra, and in some practices and in some like charts, it's a black or dark chakra in the middle of the earth, and below us it's a chakra that is, it's not ours per se, it's the earth chakra, the main chakra of the earth, so that, and it's the heart chakra of the earth, so we can connect to her. And when we do that, her heart connects to our heart. So when I do this, I focus on my own heartbeat, and I make it, or just I focus on my heartbeat for so long, and hers, that they match. And it takes time, it takes practice. One way of doing this with other people when I try to teach them is to use the correct rhythm, or to actually use a drum that I use the rhythm with, so that people have something to focus on, that don't just feel, but is grounding. So for me, in the grounding aspect is connecting to the earth mother and her heart, her beating heart in the middle of the earth. So I do that, and I welcome her energy. So I don't draw up the energy from the earth. I don't force myself or her. I don't force myself onto her. I don't think she would mind, but it feels better to welcome her. It feels like when I open up, it's easier to also receive what I need, and so I don't have to force it. So I welcome her energy into my body, mind, spirit, heart, all of me, all the way up to here. And then when I've done that, I also welcome the Sky Father's energy, the white healing light. And that's what we think about when we think about healing most often. When we talk about maybe Reiki or prana or chi or ki, we talk about this life force energy that is white or clear, or kind of yellowish or something like that. Very bright light from the cosmos, from the universe, from the source. So that's the energy I'm talking about. So that's what I do as a final step in this process, to welcome this bright light, to fill up everything that I just filled up with the earth mother, because they can both exist within me at the same time. I'm not, if I fill up with the earth mother's energy, it doesn't mean I don't have room for the sky father's energy. So there's a fly here, and I don't really know what you want from me. Maybe the fly needs me to do some spiritual hygiene. I don't know. Or maybe the fly just wants my tea. Okay. So morning and evening. In the morning, I open my Viracocha. I receive the purple light from the cosmos, the absorbing light. I release the absorbing light down to the earth. I welcome the earth mother's energy to fill me up, and I welcome the sky father's energy to fill me. And I connect these in my heart. So I feel both mind, body, soul, spirit, etc. And then I connect them in my heart, because balance comes from the heart outwards. So, and then in the morning, of course, when I've done everything I want to do within my Viracocha, I close my Viracocha. In the evening, I do this inside of my protective bubble. And I also might take the opportunity to feel the inside and the outside of my protective bubble, and see if that is how I want it to be. So, what do you want? What do you want? I don't think the fly knows what it wants. Maybe it wants me to water my plants, but I did that. Anyway, so yeah, I try to communicate with all animals, but not when they're in my face. It's hard to when they're in my face. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is when I get home. So when I get home, when you get home, when I get home from work, from just a stroll, from like from a coffee with a friend, as long as I would say maybe I would not need to to do much spiritual hygiene or think about it if I've just been in a walk in the woods or just yeah. I wanted to say if I've just been for a bike ride, but as soon as we meet people when we're outside, we might want to focus on or do some spiritual cleansing or spiritual hygiene practice when we get home. So first of all, I let go of everything that isn't mine before I enter our home. So sometimes if I have engaged with a person, it can be an animal, it can be a human, it can be whatever, and I feel like, oh, that animals usually like try to cling to me when I leave them because they know I understand them, and some don't want me to go. And I have to convince them that we will meet again, etc. So I can also take on that energy. That energy when I'm walking away from them. I can find myself keep thinking about them and wondering how they're gonna be doing with this scenario or this situation, or because maybe I've talked to their fur mom or dad and been like, well, maybe an animal is struggling with the owners taking a trip or something, and the animal is anxious and something like that. It might linger in me. I might take on that. Maybe I take on the anxiety, or I just go thinking about how, for me, it's usually how can I help this individual? And I have to come to the conclusion that it's not my place to help this individual in this time. And I have to let go of it. So when I leave an individual, I take a deep breath and I focus on releasing their energy when I breathe out. And for some individuals that I met, I can do this in like one breath. So I just breathe in and then I focus on just returning the energy to the individual. So right now I did that with a fly, but it's still here. It didn't like that. So, and with some individuals, I might need a few more breaths to really clear everything and focus on different parts of me, maybe the emotional, the psychological, or whatever it can be that I really need to release it. And I call this a part. I call this a part of my spiritual practice and my spiritual hygiene practice. So when I leave an individual, that's what I do, and when I get home, I focus on giving it to the Earth Mother. So everything that I have that's clinging to me or that I have taken on, because sometimes we unconsciously take on emotions and energies from other people. We don't always have to touch them. We can just maybe meet them and have a moment. Like I said before that I wish I could just take a bike ride and then be home and not have to do anything. But sometimes when I ride my bike, I meet people that might not be, well, they might be angry or they might lash out at me and they throw their energy onto me. And so every time I come home, I try to take a deep breath and just release everything to the earth. So if I do like this, it's the fly. So okay. I'm just gonna see what this little bug wants and we'll be right back. So I open the window and I think that's what they needed. Okay. So those are the two things I do when I get home. So we don't all live alone. I don't live alone. Maybe you don't live alone. If you live alone, then you can then it's quite easy to do all of these things and have a clear space, But when you have people over, or if you don't live alone, it might be a good thing to make sure that they are being cleansed, at least on some miniature level, when they get in the door. Because not all people are open to you telling them, when you get into my home, I need you to do a spiritual hygiene cleansing. And I need you to this and this and this and this. I have friends that are very much open to that are like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, great. But most people aren't, and most people aren't consistent in that as much as I am. So I need maybe to remind them, and then I forget to remind them, and again, there are people that aren't really open to it. So a long time ago, I learned from a shaman within the Kira medicine. She told me to do this because I was having a problem with my partner getting home late from work, and I was already in bed. And he came home holding on to heavy energies from his workplace or his associates. And then I had bad dreams. And I could wake up in the middle of the night and be anxious or even angry. And I was like, what is going on? And so I actually sought some outside counseling for this. And I was like, this is new. I don't know what it is. And so in that session, we found that, okay, so this is probably the cause. And to try out if it is the cause, that something might have happened at his workplace, or there's something new going on that I couldn't deduce, because when I asked him, I just got like a grunt, which kinda solidified that it was maybe something going on. So and I respect that he don't feel like he can talk about other people. So I just decided to follow her advice, and that was to have us some things by the door. So as close to the door as possible, so that people that come into your home are being cleansed as they walk in. And so I have 3 things by the door that I actually need to replace. But we haven't had this issue in a while, because my partner has changed his job, so it's not bad at all now. And he has also found some cleansing practices of his own that are spiritual, and they work spiritually, but he doesn't see it that way, and that's fine, but it works. So yeah. So the 3 things I have by my door are, I have a crystal that absorbs heavy energy. I have an obsidian. I have a raw obsidian crystal, and then I have a holder, like a glass holder. I have actually chosen like a small candle holder without a candle in it for this, and have salt in it. So I have salt, I have an obsidian, and then I sometimes have some incense or some oil. And it's not common that I use incense because people don't want incense when they come in through the door. But, I'm not a big fan of smoke. Like when people come into a home, and I feel that I love incense, and I love like a burning fire, like a hearth in the home, but I don't like cigarette smokes and that sort of thing. And I also So I try to think that there are people out there that have the same feelings towards incense that I have toward cigarette smoke. That I don't like it. So that's not my go-to. If I have a person in my home and we are doing a ritual or something, I can ask them if incense is okay, if I feel like I need to use it. And every time I feel like I need to use it on my partner's home, and I ask him, is it okay if I light some incense? And he can say yes or no. And if he says no, I find something else because it's a shared space. So those are the three things. So right at this moment, I have salt and I have an obsidian, but I'm gonna change the obsidian because it's really been there for a while. So I need to replace it and need to cleanse the first one. So I'm gonna replace the salt. I'm gonna change the crystal, and I'm gonna fill up the little. It's like a beaker. No, not a beaker. It's like a small bowl, like this small bowl, with some oil in it. And I think what I have at home right now is cedar, so I'm gonna use that. And it's not something I need a candle under or something like that. I just have the oil there because the oil it has properties on its own. It doesn't need to be diffused or something or anything like that. It doesn't have to be. And I wouldn't want a diffuser in my home anyway, that people have in their face when they get home. So when they get into my home. So, but that's what I have by the door. And I have it so when you get in through the door, it's right in front of you. So you get it in your face. Because we don't have space for anything on the sides, so it's in front of you, and then you put your coat up on the side, and then you can use the bathroom if you just go like this. So right in front of you you have a small shelving system, and on there I have these three things. So that's what I do morning and evening. That's what I do when I get home, and that's what I have for other people entering my home or when my partner gets home. And it actually made a very big difference. I stopped having those nightmares. That was why I put them there in the first place. And I stopped having the nightmares like I think the first night actually. I think it was instant. It was like I was like, oh yeah, that was the source and this is the cure. Because uh I can't make my partner do something that he doesn't want to, and I'm also not gonna try to, demand of him to do something regularly or consistently that he might not be comfortable with. And as I said, now he's found his own hygiene practice, and I'm happy for him. And this also works still. So I think I'm actually gonna end this video here and do another video so they aren't that long. And the second part will be spiritual hygiene when giving healing and receiving healing. So before I go, I would like to just say, if you feel disturbed in some way, like during the day or the night, stop and cleanse. So I'm not perfect at it. Of course, no one is perfect, and there are absolutely times when hours might go by, sometimes even a couple of days. At one point, a couple of days before I realize that what I'm feeling it's not mine. It might have triggered something in me. It might have brought something out that I needed to work on anyway. But there has been an outside source of energy that's clinging to me, and I need to cleanse it. So I'm not perfect, but I try my best and to stop and cleanse. And so what I mean is, if I am going about my day and suddenly I feel that I feel irritated at something or someone, or maybe someone's been irritated at me. Most often it's negative emotions. that do this, and it makes you feel like you're off balance or a bit like a disturbance in your energy field and in your mind, then I stop and cleanse. It can also be that I have been through a grocery store, and in the middle of the grocery store, I feel like I need this and I need this and I need this and I need this. And that might be like a small child that has been very much, they want everything in the store and they're super hungry, and the parents are shopping before afternoon snack or before dinner, and I take on that and I'm like, oh, but I want this and I want this and I need this, and then I will stop and I will be like, okay, so I came into the store not hungry, wanting two things. Why do I feel this way? And I just take a deep breath and release. And no one has to, know what I'm doing. For outside people, it might just look like someone's gone a bit confused in the middle of the store, taking a deep breath before moving forward. And I'm okay with that. So today I have talked about what I do in the morning, in the evening, when I get home, and when people enter my home, or when my partner gets home, and stop and cleanse. So in the next video, part 2 of spiritual hygiene, I will talk about what to think about when you are giving healing to other people in terms of your spiritual hygiene, and also when you receive healing from other people. What you might have to think about and how you approach that from the spiritual hygiene perspective. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Walk in beauty, and have a lovely, lovely day. Xingling!